TWM podcast.
Hello and welcome to TWM Talks. I am your host, Matty Deller, and we've got a very, very fun interview coming up for you in just a few minutes' time. But before we get into that, let me run through all the usual admin stuff. Shall we get that out of the way? This is a TWM podcast, bringing you content 6 days a week, news, reviews, and in this case, interviews from all four corners of the wrestling world and wrestling fandom, available on Apple and Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Acast, TuneIn, Podbean, YouTube, and wherever else you get your pods. This podcast is brought to you by We Love Sport, a fantastic app that helps you find the best sports bars to watch WWE in the UK. Over 400 sports bars at your fingertips on the Google or Apple store at the moment. But obviously this isn't the case right now, but they are doing some fantastic content over at We Love Sport UK and welovesport.co. Also, shout out to WrestleCrate. If you use the code TWM Wrestling at wrestlecrate.co.uk, you can get up to 3 free items with your first 3 boxes if you sign up for a monthly subscription. If you stay for the first month, you get a free item. Second month, you get another free item. Third month, you get another free item after that if you use the code TWM Wrestling at wrestlecrate.co.uk. This week, we have a very special guest on TWM Talk, something a little bit different. We thought we'd change it up. A star of stage and screen. He's been in stuff you might know of Kidulthood, Doctor Who, and Bulletproof. But we have him here today because, like all of us, he is a massive fan of wrestling. I'm very excited to introduce Noel Clarke. Hello there, welcome to the show.
How you doing, man? Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. We'll just jump straight into it and kind of just have a chat about how you got into it. What's your first memory of seeing wrestling for the first time?
My first memory is being, really, really young, probably 5 or 6, watching. I don't even know if it was called World of Sport at the time, but I feel like there were names like Saturday Grandstand and whatever, but watching that Saturday show where they were showing British wrestling.
Oh, that's cool. Cool.
And, loving the Fit Finleys, Kendo Nagasaki's, I think Clive Myers, Big Daddy, Giant Haystacks, and the various others. I loved it from then.
Awesome. Kind of, that's something we don't, I don't normally get even from some wrestling stuff. They actually started watching it from the World of Sport days. That's, really, really cool. And obviously things like Fit Finley and Giant Haystacks obviously still resonate to this day.
And Pat Bomber Roach, who I ended up working with years later when I was in Avida St. Pet. I ended up working with Bomber, or Pat Bomber Roach, as he was when he was a wrestler. And then he took me to a couple of real, because I'm talking to, when I met him was like 99.
Yeah.
And he took me to a couple of events, like, out back of a pub in a garden,
nice.
With people wrestling and stuff
Brilliant.
like that. Yeah, so I've been a fan for a long time. And then seeing occasional American matches on the World of Sport kind of led me that way.
So kind of what wrestlers did you end up growing up loving? Not just from obviously the British scene, but obviously if you end up watching American stuff down the road, if you see on Twitter and stuff, you talk about WWE and a fair bit. Kind of what wrestlers really were like your favourites in the early days?
Yeah, well, when it was the British stuff, really young, obviously, I think I was obviously just a mark for Big Daddy because I was a kid. I was at 5, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But when it started, around 10 years old, when a friend of mine had Sky at school and would bring in videotapes, and I started getting into wrestling, was just sort of in between WrestleMania 3 and 4. I think my biggest impactful memory was the double referee thing.
Oh, yeah.
And Andre winning the belt, and then WrestleMania 4, all of that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? So my favourites were, very early on, I was Ultimate Warrior. That was my guy.
Yeah,
that was my guy. I was Ultimate Warrior, Strike Force, Killer Bees.
I'm loving all these names that are coming out. They're names that obviously Warrior as well, but Killer Bees, Strike, loving it, absolutely loving it.
Yeah, Power and Glory. Well, no, they weren't Power. What are they fucking called? Young Stallions. Was it Paul Romer and Jim Powers, I think?
I know the name. It would have been Paul Romer and Tito. No, Paul Romer and Tito Santana were the Can-Am, weren't they? So I can't remember.
I don't remember that one. I remember Strike Force and Rick Martel was a big favourite of mine. Of mine. Rick Martel, when they were in Strike Force, before the model and all that business, when they were in Strike Force. But Paul Romer, was it Can-Am Connection? It was Paul Romer. And then I think there was Young Stallions as well.
Yeah, I know what you mean, definitely.
I think it was Jim Powers, and eventually he got with Hercules and did Power and Glory. But yeah, mate, I've been into it from probably before you were born, mate. If I'm honest, you're probably in your 20s. And are you in your 20s or early 30s or what?
I've just gone, like, last year was my 30th birthday, and I started. Oh, well. And I kind of, obviously this was like a few years before time. Yeah. But it is fascinating that no matter what time period, always makes you laugh. We've spoken to people, obviously, that watched it in like 3 and 4, and then obviously a bunch of rest that have watched it from the Action Era. Everyone always seems to get it. The story always is, especially in the UK, everyone's story always starts with, my mate had Sky, and, and then you end up watching it.
100%. Yeah, I've been watching like, geez, I mean, I've been watching like 34 years, like consistently too.
Yeah.
Like I've never sort of gone away from it and then rediscovered it. It was once when I moved house and didn't have Sky for like 6 months, and I battled the people in my place for them to take out Virgin Media and put Sky in, and once they got Sky, I had it back. But that was a 6-month gap in 34 years.
Yeah, like I'm exactly the same. Like, I know a lot of people, even people that kind of work on TWM, they watched it for a bit and then dipped out and came back. I started watching it in '99, and I haven't stopped since. I've watched it constantly. So like a lot of it's a blur. Like I think I remember like 99 to 2001 clearly, but then like 2010 to now, I couldn't tell you what happened. It's one of those. It's one of those.
There were periods that are a blur for sure. Yeah, definitely. You know, but
you mentioned about obviously going to a show in '99 with Pat Roach. Was that like your first live show, or did you go to stuff when you were younger, or?
No, I'd been to stuff before that because I was at SummerSlam '92.
Oh, and nice. Cool.
I was there, and I'd been to live events in the UK before. I'd been to live events in Toronto. A lot of my family live in Canada, so I used to go every year. I still go quite regularly. Well, not in this pandemic times, but you know. And so I'd been to shows in Toronto. In fact, I was at the house show, jumping on a bit. I was at the house show in Toronto when Edge won his first Intercontinental title back in the days.
Fully Loaded in '99.
Yeah, I was there. I was at that house show in Toronto.
That's cool. That's really cool.
I tweeted the ticket to him once, and he followed me after that because he was like, "Oh my god." And obviously he knows. I know people he knows through acting, so he kind of. But yeah, I was there, mate. Like, I'm a big fan. It's not a joke.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you've definitely got a kind of almost an encyclopedic knowledge. Dropping out the tag teams, the 80s tag team division kind of threw me there a little bit. You spoke about obviously tweeting Edge and talking about stuff like that. Obviously, you're obviously head star of stage and screen and done loads of fantastic stuff in that realm. But I imagine. Even people that are kind of in that quote unquote celebrity realm, you must have met a few wrestlers and you've just gone, yo, like got a bit starstruck, been like, oh my god, when you met them in person.
It's interesting. Let me think. It's a weird one. Not really. Well, actually, I say that not really. Because I don't really get starstruck because it is what it is, right? But definitely, because I got a friend who works for WWE, so like in the behind the scenes stuff. So occasionally I'll go. Well, actually, I know a couple of wrestlers, but he works like in the production. So occasionally I'll go backstage. And one time we were backstage and we're standing there talking or whatever, and you know, Rusev takes pictures of my kids, or a couple of others take pictures of my kids and whatnot. And then the Undertaker comes down the hall.
Oh.
And like we just all stepped back, like, do you know what I mean? Like hands in front of you, like it was the headmaster or a bishop or whatever. And I just kind of like, he said, hey, he said hi, I said, hello, sir. And then I said, hello, sir. I didn't like go, yo, I just said, hello, sir. And he said, hi, how you guys doing? I was like, good. And he kept walking. And like, it was just an air of like respect.
Yeah.
When he walked down the hallway. It's just a hallway. Like it wasn't like the hallowed halls of, you know what I mean? It's just a hallway, but and for me, probably that's the closest I've ever been to being starstruck by someone, is because like I'm not a wrestler, but I appreciate the entertainment he's given, and I appreciate that wrestlers respect that man regardless of what corporate what company they're in. They respect that man, and so therefore I respect that man. And you know what I mean? We all just stepped back, and I said to the kids, shh, be quiet. You know?
That's great. No, I love that. It's brilliant. It must be great as a fan when kind of when you meet someone like that and they have that aura, especially someone like the Undertaker, because I'll tell you a little story. We were at this WWE event for BT Sport, like just at the start of this year, and one of the guys who does the podcast with us, Joe, is a massive fan of Ric Flair. Like Ric Flair's his favourite wrestler, and we were standing there just chatting, and I managed to we were standing there, he doesn't realise because he's got his back, and I managed to go to him, Joe, Ric Flair's like 3 feet behind you, and I've never seen like a man just turn around with his mouth open, just go, like, he had that respect. Everyone just immediately gathered round Ric Flair and was like just all patiently waiting to just say thank you for everything you've done. It was
yeah, of course. It's the respect, isn't it? It's the respect level.
You said before that you kind of watched World of Sport at an early age, and then obviously you said about going to a show with Pat Roach. Do you keep up with the independent and British wrestling scene as best you can? Is it something that you're kind of a fan of as well?
Not so much now, to be honest. I mean, there's just not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Because like if I'm acting and stuff, and I'm running my production company with my business partner, and I've got 3 kids, there's just not enough hours. Do you know what I mean?
I'm kind of making the most of the opportunity of being of having the time. So I know the older I get, and when eventually I settle down and get all that, and life happens, it's going to have to dial back a bit. But
so occasionally I'll have a Google it to try and find who's popping or whatever, and I watch NXT UK, but generally it's just time now. There's too much content, and I don't really have time. I've even had to drop 205 Live, to be honest.
It's one of those things. It's for ages. Everyone's been when we were younger, all like, I wish I could watch wrestling all the time. And then the older you get, they've gone, here's everything, and everyone just goes, right, that's too much now. I've got to pick and choose. But it's an embarrassment of riches, which is a nice thing. Yeah. In all fairness, like even now during this current time, it's not as if, as wrestling fans, anyone's particularly stuck for content to watch. Even if there's a lack of live stuff, we'd be like, oh, well, there's a massive back catalogue here, and here to go back and watch.
And I'm a massive WWE fan, so, Impact's had to go for me.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
AEW?
No, I watch AEW.
Yeah.
I dropped 205 Live to watch AEW. But is NW?
You got NW. You got NWA as well. You got NWA's like an hour long show. Yeah.
So I can't watch, like there's not enough time. So now it's the WWE shows and AEW for me.
Yeah. I was just like we're obviously we cover all sorts, and I'm a fan of stuff, and if you ever get any time to go just to an independent show, there'll be one always somewhere within like half an hour. That's the beauty part. It's like, there's a show. There's literally one on now. Brilliant. I always recommend it, and there's always some guys. I'll give you a recommendation. Someone just
who do you recommend the most?
I'll give you I would say Curtis Chapman. He's a great wrestler, but also just the funniest bloke on the planet, because he's just one of those. I would almost say he's very much in regard to personality, like a young Kurt Angle, like the dweeby guy.
Wow, okay.
The dweeby guy gets himself into constant trouble. He's really good. Dan Maloney, who you probably would have seen on NXT UK, is probably one of the he's really great. I'm trying to think of other people that there's a lot of people on NXT UK you would have seen that are really good. Man like Doris, who's been on NXT UK under a different name, but he's Dan Maloney's tag partner in different places, and he's genuinely not only incredibly athletic, just one of the funniest guys in wrestling, because he's just very quick, and also he raps Lethal Bizzle's pal to the ring.
Great!
While singing Dan's name to it, which is the best thing.
Do you know what's interesting as well is what I look for when I'm watching it now? Obviously, as a director and someone who works with a lot of actors, I think now more than ever, especially now with the no crowd situation, is I'm really seeing who the good actors are.
Definitely.
And I think nowadays, being athletic and looking good is not just enough. I think if you want to get to the top, and regardless of anyone hating on the company, it's still considered the top title. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's New Japan and there's other places and that. But in terms of global coverage, if you were the WWE champion, it's still considered like.
Totally.
Even though it's like the McDonald's of wrestling, so many people hate it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like you have to be all of those things. You got to be a good actor as well. It's not just about, occasionally someone will slip through because they're just so talented they can't be ignored.
Yeah.
But generally, you kind of have to be a good actor, good athlete, and, you know, a supremely good wrestler.
TWM podcasts are brought to you by We Love Sport, the fantastic app finding you your nearest sports bar showing the latest WWE pay-per-views. We Love Sport has over 400 of the best sports bars and pubs in the UK at your fingertips and allows you to book front row seats, giving you the best views of the action. You can also check out what sports are being shown over the next 7 days, making sure you don't miss a second of the action. Download the We Love Sport app on the App Store or Google Play Store. Follow We Love Sport on all social media platforms at We Love Sport UK and check out welovesport.co.
TWM podcasts have joined forces with WrestleCrate, the original and best monthly theme, monthly wrestling subscription service to bring you a fantastic deal. If you use the code TWM Wrestling when you sign up to a monthly subscription at WrestleCrate.co.uk, you will receive a free item in your first month's box. Then, if you stay for another month, you'll get a second free item. And then, if you stay for a third month, you guessed it, we'll give you a third free item. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. WrestleCrate brings you the best swag from the biggest companies and names in the wrestling world. We're talking t-shirts, photos, pins, DVDs, vinyl figures, and loads more from WWE, Progress, Shakara, NXT, Fight Club Pro, and loads more. That's WrestleCrate.co.uk and use the code TWM Wrestling for up to free items, all thanks to WrestleCrate and TWM.
It's one of I cast it again, kind of looking at, well, not independent, he wrestles for New Japan, but guy Will Ospreay, I love Will Ospreay, mainly because he's 20 minutes down the road from me. So, he's a local boy, so I always cheer him. But he was obviously a very flippy, high-flying guy, and the reason he's moved his way up is because he started to gain the understanding of like facial recognition and like the art of selling the match, and now all of his matches, even though obviously he's doing all these insane flips and doing these back counters, it looks like a fight because he's telling a good story. And you're obviously actually perfect person to talk to about this in regards of directing and working stuff. What were your thoughts on kind of these cinematic style matches, the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse match? What did you think?
I mean, to be honest, I can't knock the creativity. Yeah. Like, amazing creativity. From a creative standpoint, I enjoyed them both, and I know how long that probably would have taken 2 days. The Undertaker one specifically as well, because I know about the shots and the angles and all that kind of stuff. So creatively, absolutely amazing, both of them. As a wrestling fan, I work in movies. I can watch movies. I want to see you ring. I want to see 1, 2, 3 in the ring.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, and that I've always been like that. Even like Buried Alive matches back in the day, or Last Man Standing match. I'm like, I don't want to see a guy conked out for 10. I want to see a 1, 2, 3 or a submission. That's how I've always been. So creatively brilliant. But just as a pure wrestling fan, I was like, So
I would imagine that if we're looking at these kind of cinematic matches, you were more of a fan of the Gargano Ciampa one rather than the Boneyard and the Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, ends in the ring. Yeah. Triple H says, starts here, can go anywhere, but it's got to end in it. Yeah. For me, again, I'm kind of like, because I think what it is like, it's all these kind of matches are their way of still doing hardcore matches or whatever, without calling it hardcore. And I'm kind of like, look, man, there's only so much you can do. So, they're still in a PG era, which I don't mind. There's only so much you can do. So once I've seen a guy thrown into a table and he knocks a table over, or, there's a bunch of drinks set up so they all spatter everywhere, it's like, mate, I do that at work as well.
Yeah.
I do.
No, you're right. Like,
so I'm kind of like, what I don't do is shooting star presses and intricate submissions, and so that's what I want to see. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no,
for me personally.
No, it's an interesting viewpoint. Like for me, I'm a big fan of the in-ring style. I'm kind of I'm a high flying guy, and then also I am a bit of a deathmatch hardcore fan as well. I do enjoy that stuff. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but I do really enjoy watching the like deathmatch stuff. But then again, Did you like Moxley and what's his name the other day? Moxley
and
Hager. No, I did enjoy that purely because that one was kind of it felt like a fight. And I do like matches. Like I love watching like Ospreay and Ricochet do all the flips, but at the same time, I like the other end where it looks like a fight. Where I've been to like shows like Progress and Fight Club Pro, where you're sitting there wincing at how hard they're hitting each other, and I like that kind of thing because I'm
interesting.
I'm like a fan. I'm a boxing fan as well. Like I sort of enjoy that little like those bits of. But at the same time, a bunch of us, obviously because of social distancing, we were all sitting on like a video phone call watching the Firefly Funhouse match together, and we're all sitting there with our heads on our hands, going, "This is like the most meta, amazing, ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, massively appreciate it because you see Moxley and Hager, I didn't love.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
No, I didn't love it because for the very reasons I just said. I'm kind of like, well, I just didn't, But then I do like UFC and whatnot. And anyway.
But then again, you are right because it's a case of if you want to watch a UFC fight, you're going to go watch UFC.
And I'm a big fan. I got friends in the UFC as well, or former world champs and all that. So again, it's like, if I want to see guys fight properly, I'll go see guys fight properly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When it's wrestling, man, I appreciate a chain wrestling into a submission, and do you know what I mean? And like, it doesn't have to be high flying flips, but I appreciate a story, and anyway, You
know what? We'll kind of we'll kind of wind up and kind of just discuss stuff in general.
Man.
You said you've been to a lot of live events. You mentioned the Ed thing. What's like the best wrestling thing you've seen live? What was like your favourite thing that you've seen in person?
Probably Edge winning that Intercontinental title.
Oh, cool. That's a cool one. See someone like Edge win their first singles title is probably something you can hang your hat on, definitely.
And also in Toronto at a house show, like where, to be honest, nobody was expecting it. And if I recall correctly, I'm not sure if he knew he was going over. So he got the pin or whatever like that, and Jeff kind of kicked out on 3. And I remember this clearly. There was a debate. Another referee ran down, or maybe they didn't, but I remember there was a debate for a little bit, and it took a little bit of time. And then suddenly someone said, the winner, and everyone just went nuts. Like, it was in Toronto.
Yeah.
Everyone, it wasn't a clear-cut thing of 1, 2, 3, and it was announced straight away. There was like a moment of like, almost as if they did it as a favor to him, and he didn't know it was going to happen.
Yeah, that's really, really cool, and kind of obviously 1999 to now, that's a long period of time. The fact that it's so ingrained shows.
It was amazing.
It's one of those compare one of the best moments I was live. I didn't appreciate live, and I'm really annoyed because I was about 16. And was sat right at the back. And this match, I was sitting there going, this match is going on for ages. Like, we're sitting there going, when's this finishing? And then, obviously, the match that we were there was the Michaels Cena match that went an hour in London. But I was 16 and wasn't appreciating what I was watching. And now I'm watching back, I'm going, you were like one of the luckiest people to go and see that match.
Of course.
One of the best WWE matches they've put on. But obviously, fan of many years, many kind of all different eras. Who are your top 5 favourite wrestlers?
Of all time or now?
We could do all time, or you could do now. It's up to you.
Of all time, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Ultimate Warrior. And this is not including politics or anything like that, or outside curricular abuses or views. This is just wrestling, right? Yeah. Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ultimate Warrior, The Rock. I probably have to put Jake the Snake Roberts in there.
Cool.
And DX collectively.
Okay. I'll let you have that one.
Collectively, because I don't, Billy Gunn, Road Dogg, X-Pac, But Sean, Triple H, but as a collective, man, oh my God. Because, bro, I was 19.
Yeah.
So telling people to suck it and like being rowdy and stuff was just our complete, getting girls to get their boobs out at the time. Stuff at the time that was probably not acceptable, but was acceptable at the time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because was just like, I was 19. So for me at the time, man, that was like that was everything.
I do remember. It would have been 2000. So I would have been. I would have been year 5, and I do remember my whole class being called in because someone had told someone to suck it.
Suck it, yeah.
And they're like, "Where does this come from?" And I was the only one who's like, "It's from wrestling."
Yeah, but can you imagine you're 19, so it's acceptable for you to do it, and you and your boys have just got banter, and you're saying it to everyone. You're doing the cross shove to everyone. Like, it was just like we were just rowdy.
Yeah.
And so for me, the nostalgia of that,
I love that. That's awesome. And you obviously mentioned your kind of your best wrestling moment live. What would you say is your favourite match?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
There's too many matches. There's 100% too many matches for me to call that. Like, definitely. I mean, if I had to say something that I think meant a lot, I think it would be Kofi's match at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I think they could have had Brian kick out of that Trouble in Paradise and then do another one just for a little false finish. I would have preferred that, because he kind of nailed it and then it was over, and I wish like they nailed it and we thought it was going to be over, and then Brian kicked out and then we were like,
yeah,
oh no, maybe he's not going to get it, and then he got it. But anyway, that's enough. But because through all the years I've been watching, there had never been a black champion. Like, don't get me wrong, we know there was the world title, the big gold belt and whatnot, and Mark Henry won it, Booker won it, whatever, and we know The Rock is half black and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not one of those guys who's like, black people has to be, but I just mean it was like, it's inspiring to so many people, because now, imagine you're me 30 years ago and you want to be a wrestler, there's absolutely no chance.
Yeah.
Now there's a kid who could be English, could be small as well, and he can get into the training, do the independent shows, get into NXT UK, have personality, get to WWE, and he can win that title. Like, he can win that. That's inspiring.
It will always be a favourite moment of mine. Not for me. Again, we spoke about kind of one of the guys from TWM, Joe. We were all at his house, and he's not only a black wrestling fan, he's Ghanaian. So this was and we watched the match with him. And
yeah, amazing.
There's a photo somewhere. I need to dig it out. I don't know if it's on our Twitter, but I need to dig it out. Out there. We took a photo, and when the bell rings, our friend Joe is on his knees like a child, just staring at the screen, watching Kofi lift that belt. And it was one of the coolest moments I've ever been a part of, as we then just lift him up on our shoulders and danced around the room.
Amazing.
Celebrating with him.
I think, and you can see like a lot of the videos around the world of people celebrating were like genuine emotion.
Yeah.
Like much like Drew McIntyre the other day, like crying in the ring at the Rumble. Do you know what I mean? Genuine emotion of like, oh my gosh, like this is going to happen. You know what I mean? Or this has happened.
It's awesome. And obviously that was a fantastic moment that everyone can remember. No, this has been an absolute delight. It's great to kind of talk to some people that a lot of people kind of may know, may not know how much they love wrestling as much as the rest of our kind of listeners and readers do. To wrap things up, tell us anything you got coming up, and how can people kind of keep up with what you're doing?
Well, Bulletproof 2 is on Now TV and Sky right now, and on BT apparently, because BT's apparently got Now TV as well. So Bulletproof 2 is out and very relevant. If anyone who doesn't want to binge it and wants to watch it live, it's still on Sky. I have a movie coming out at the end of the year, I think. I honestly don't know now with everything that's going on.
Yeah, of course.
But a movie with Sam Heughan and Andy Serkis and Tom Hopper. I don't even know if I'm allowed to mention the name, but that's coming out. I was about to start a big ITV job playing the lead in that, but that got cancelled because we're all on lockdown. So right now, that's about it, mate. Just grafting away like everyone else and writing some new material, which is and watching wrestling.
Awesome. I will say, kind of, if you kind of want to break from watching wrestling, I'm a massive fan of Bulletproof. I think it's great. It's such a good TV show. So
thanks a lot. Man.
Definitely go and check that out. Thank you very, very much for joining us, Noel. Thanks for being a part of TWM Talks.
Cheers. Take care.
A massive thank you to Noel Clarke for joining us. Like you said, you can check out Bulletproof 2 on Now TV and on Sky and BT, of course. You can go follow him at Noel Clarke. You can follow us at TWM Wrestle. And you can follow me if you want at Matty ID. Check out all of our content at twm.news. Check out WrestleCrate, wrestlecrate.co.uk. Use the code TWM Wrestling to get up to 3 free items in your first 3 months if you join a monthly subscription at wrestlecrate.co.uk. And check out welovesport.co, We Love Sport UK, and download the We Love Sport app to get yourself ready when this whole thing blows over. Once again, big thank you to Noel, big thank you to you for listening. We're hopefully going to do a lot more of these kind of celebrity fan interviews, something a little bit different coming at you here on TWM Talks. Bye for now.